opposing Kuala Lumpur ASEEL squad. The look now at Kwek Tien Yen. Big man shooter here for the Malaysian squad. Averaging 7.8 points per game, 7 boards per game, and 2.3 assists per game. Going head-to-head in this matchup featuring the number 3 Nueva Ecija Capitals and the number 6 Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Anfield players over here. Joining me, Mike Atocayo as always, Coach Mike Beres. Coach Mike, number 3 Nueva Ecija Capitals versus the number 6 Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Let's go first to the side of the Nueva Ecija Capitals now. Now, of course, in their last win against the Danao City MJazz Zenit, March 25th was the date of that ball game. They had the advantage in all statistical categories, of course, winning 84-77. But don't forget, they were up by as high as 21 points, but they were still able to withstand a late comeback by the now MJazz Zenit.
Yeah, and you gotta give credit as well to the different players that's been rising para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Of course, the 3 different wins that they had, tatlong iba't ibang players ang naging best player of the game nila. You have Michael Mabulak, you have Hesed Gabo, and then you have Michael Wico, all stepping up for Nueva Ecija.
Again, a great all-around effort here for the boys of Coach Gerson Cabiltes. Now, let's go over now to the other side of our ball game for this afternoon. The Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Well, they had a win also, this time coming against the Zamboanga Atami Sardines, 91-84. Coach Mike, Kuala Lumpur went by as high as 18 going into the third quarter rather. But again, Atami Sardines were in that ball game trying to come back. But it was the hot shooting of Kwek Tien Yen that really did the damage here for Kuala Lumpur.
That's right. And every time you have a team that shoots above 40% from the 2 points and the 3-point region, you're going to expect a win. And that game really was the comeback game for Maymay, and he did not disappoint, especially when Kwek started stepping up and really ramping that game in favor of Kuala Lumpur, despite the fact that Atami Sardines came back in the fourth quarter to trim it down to 4. But really, the guys stepped up and closed it out well para sa ating mga visitors from Kuala Lumpur.
Again, when Kuala Lumpur connects from downtown, hard stopping that club.
Definitely.
And now we turn it over now to our courtside reporter, Sam Coloso, with an interview with Malaysia's very own Coach Guga Patumalay.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm here with Coach Guga from the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL team. Coach, we know that Megan is not playing today. What were your adjustments in today's game?
This game we got a lack of Megan and our size is going down. But we are doing a lot of preparation for the big guy. So we will more rotation in the big guy.
Coach, you're joining another league at the end of April. So tell us about your schedule in FILBASKET and how are you coping with that?
We are feeling like kids are excited because they don't know they see a lot of game keep on like every 2 days. But we had a tight schedule for the next middle of the April. We're going to go for Bali for an invitation. So it's a tight schedule for us. Hope the kids are enjoying. But let's see how far we can go.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck in today's game. Back to you, Anthony and Coach Mike.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. And we are just moments away from the opening tip. It's the Nueva Ecija Capitals versus the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL coming right at you after this quick message. We turn you over now to our courtside reporter, Ryan Belen.
Welcome to FILBASKET Summer Championship 2022, presented by Pure Gold. This is the second game of our triple header between the Nueva Ecija Capitals and Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Are you ready? Let's meet the starters of Nueva Ecija Capitals. At point guard, standing 5'9" from Mapua University, number 7, Hesed Gabo. At shooting guard, standing 6 foot flat from Jose Rizal University, number 51, Byron Villarias. At small forward, standing 6'1" from the University of the East, number 77, Renz Palma. At power forward, 6'4" from Lyceum of Subic Bay, number 23, JJ Golyado. And at center, 6'4" from Jose Rizal University, number 28, Michael Mabula. head coach of the Capitals is Gerson Cabildes. And now the starters of Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. At point guard, number 9, Kyo Kok Ho. At shooting guard, number 7, Tem Shenji. At small forward, number 11, Wong Yi Ho. At power forward, number 55, Kwek Yan Yuan. And at center, number 3, Anthony Liu. The head coach of the ASEEL is Guga Batumalai. Our officials for this game, the crew chief is Ruel Latino, first umpire.
And there we have it, the starting lineups for both squads for Nueva Ecija. It is Palma and Collado on the wings with Mabulak at center, with Hesed Gabo and Byron Villarias out of JRU at the guards. As for the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL, Wong Yi Hao and Kwek Ten Yan along the wings, with Anthony Liu at center and Tiokuk Ho and Tem Zhenje are the guards. We also like to give a shout out to Yaslo Muntinlupa, the Youth Affairs and Sports Development Office, and also our Public Information Officer, Miss Tez Navarro. Maraming salamat po sa pagtutok sa aming FILBASKET tournament.
Well, pretty much the very same starting five, except for a couple of guys, but these teams really starting out with the usual starters.
Yep.
To begin this game.
And Coach Mike, no, I think this usual rotation that Kuala Lumpur ASEEL, that Coach Guga Batumalay really sticks into, this is, I mean, the five that he's very comfortable with.
That's right. He really relies on them to start the ball rolling for them on every game, to start them on the right foot. And we'll see how this goes as they go up against Nueva Ecija.
Of course, Nueva Ecija, our number 3 team in the standings. Just a traveling violation here, whistled against Jesse James Collado. Pero Coach Mike, no, we also like to take a look at the rust versus rest factor. Of course, Nueva Ecija, their last game, their last win came on March 25th, which was 1 week ago. Samantala, this among Kuala Lumpur ASEEL, they have been playing here at the Muntinlupa Sports Center every day since we moved here this week.
Yes, and that could be an advantage. But to say that Nueva Ecija would be on the rust side, I don't think so, because most of the time during off-game days, the Coach Gerson would also do practice sessions with them just to keep them in pace for the coming games.
All right, so meanwhile, off the action. Foul over here against Wong Yi Ho, a 17 points per game scorer for the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. So sideline inbounds goes to Byron Villarias. Esad Gabo now with 10 seconds to work with for the Capitals. Kick out, Villarias, corner, free. That's short. Look at him rebound, Michael Mabulak against 2 defenders.
Well, that's going to be a huge test para dito sa Kuala Lumpur. We all know that Michael Mabulak can get that defensive and offensive board in traffic. And we'll see how the bigs of Kuala Lumpur would react to the physicality of Michael Mabulak.
But he tried to do a little bit too much here, Coach Mike. As we take a look at the extra elbow. To the chin of Wang Yi Hao over there.
Subtly sending a message, I guess, that
Could be.
This is going to be a physical game.
Could be. Liu sets the screen for Yi Hao. Trapped up, kick out. Zhenje Tem now with the drive, puts it on the deck, the layup. All aired that time, tracked down again by Michael. Here comes Hesed Gabo. Gabo, stop and pop, trailing free. That's no good. Anthony Liu with the rebound.
Here's the similarity between these two teams. Every time on a live turnover, these guys would love to run and not slow the pace down.
As Wang Yi Hao finally breaks the silence and gets the first 2 points of our ball game.
Both these teams love to attack when the defense is not set up. And so they take that opportunity and they get that chance every time down the floor.
So Hesed Gabo now on the other end. Here comes Villarias off the curl, top of the key triple. No, Mabulak again with the board, working hard inside and puts it up and in. Or rather, puts it up and gets a foul.
Yep, staple play of Nueva Ecija, wherein they bring that stagger to the one side of the floor. As we see here, this basket beautifully done for number 11 of Kuala Lumpur. We're talking about Yi Hao.
Coach Mike, we were talking earlier off the air, no? Kuala Lumpur really wants to work that ball around the perimeter, tries to open up some frees of their own, but on that occasion they were able to take it in close.
Because they quickly got what the defense give them. So that's what you do. You don't have to swing the ball around. Soon as you see that opening and that slot, you claim it, and that's what they did on that last possession.
Meanwhile, we like the great Cilium Fiber, manufactured by Leone Agri Corporation, our sponsor here at the FILBASKET, and another inside incursion this time coming for Kwek Tien Yuen for Kuala Lumpur.
Last game's best player of the game, still at it, continuing in this match.
Again, 2 inside baskets here early on for Kuala Lumpur ASEEL, but Michael Mabulak answering with a layup of his own as his yung kanyang mag-ina enjoying the action here at the Muntinlupa Sports Center.
Look at that, just Michael Mabulak powering against Kwek.
That instant replay is brought to us by Smart Simple, Smart Taco.
And it looks like it's going to be a very long night for Kwek, seeing that Michael Mabulak already contributing a lot para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
Of course, Michael Mabulak giving up some inches to Kwek, but not in heft and not in toughness.
Definitely.
Yeho now, trapped up along the corner. That is going to be a pushing foul against Jesse James Collado.
And you can almost feel the resistance sa depensa nitong Nueva Ecija because every time anyone with the ball, there's pressure always that's coming, and you can feel that body contact preventing them from getting any easy lanes going to the basket.
And Coach Mike, I think Coach Guga Batumalay called on more shooting as Mei Chun Hong Ting has entered the ball game now for them. Renz Palma now to the trailing Collado, and one opportunity coming up for JJ.
That, I think, is the key difference of the bigs of Nueva Ecija versus that of Kuala Lumpur.
Yes.
See, the bigs of Nueva Ecija can run down the floor and finish strong through contact, just like what we saw from Jay Collado. But the big men of Kuala Lumpur are really like more finesse players.
Yes.
Wherein if they see a free lane, they can take that. But in contact, that's going to be a little bit of a different story.
Again, Coach Mike, our executive producer Noel Zarate build the big men rotation of Coach Jerson Cabiltes. Parang mga American football players to eh. Linebacker core or parang offensive line core sa bigat nila.
And si Macalone is even on the bench at this point.
So back to the action we go. 7-4 is our score, still in the early goings of our ball game. Jump shot does not work. Meanwhile, Wei Yong inside offensive board, no go. Back out to Mei. Don't leave him open, but this time that ball rolls out of bounds.
So lucky for Nueva Ecija, that ball slipped through the sweet shooting arm of Mei. He was ready to go for that three.
Of course, Chun Hong Ting is known for tying the record. 9 free points made in their win against ICC. Meanwhile, Wilson is the official game ball of the 2022 FILBASKET Summer Championships. Hesed Gabo now. Back out to Collado, straight away, free, swish for JJ.
That's when Nueva Ecija is really very dangerous. You have at the top, Jay Collado, and at the middle, Michael Mabulak. You could go for a high-low, or you could go for that quick three on JJ's side. That really makes it a difficult cover for Kuala Lumpur.
Sabi mo kanina, Coach Mike, ang bigs ng Nueva Ecija, they can run the floor, but take a look at this. Jay Collado, catch and shoot, splash that home.
Sabi siguro ni Jay, ano yung sinasabi niyong tumatakbo lang kami? Nakakashoot rin kami sa tres.
Right you are. Quick now, handoff over here. Mei free. And there is a foul. Byron Villarreal saying, wala. But sorry, our referee called it first, Byron.
Yeah, and every time you see a Mei just lifting for that three and that shot beyond that three-point line, there's no other way for you to go but really to close out long. You can't close out short because that's going to be free space, enough separation for him to just get off that shot. And the thing is, this guy Mei is like Steph Curry, who loves to move around and get through those seams just to get to that open spot on the floor where his teammates would just lead him to that leather.
Yun yung kailangan matutunan ng young shooters, no, Coach Mike? That relocation. Go where the open pockets are there and then just wait for the pass to find you.
You got to make that recovery movement, not just the initial, action. You got to go for that second action if that first option isn't there.
Well said, as Chun Hong Ting converts on his second charity. So 10-7 is our score. Nueva Ecija up by 3 with just under 6 minutes to go in our opening quarter. Mabulak now over to Hesed. Offering a screen, Gabo. Pull up free. That's way short that time for Hesed.
Good defense there by Kuala Lumpur.
Meanwhile, Kwek Tianyen spotting up for free. No go that time. Collado tracks it down. Outlet pass. Here comes Hesed Gabo. Drops it over to Mabulak. He's got Wei Young on him. Post-up move for Michael. Rolls in for Mabulak.
Michael Mabulak just having a lot of contributions right now. Barely into 5 minutes into the quarter. This guy, I think, already has 5 points across his name. And talagang he's taking advantage of that mismatch that he feels from a heft standpoint.
Meanwhile, Kuala Lumpur, Maymay now on the drive. Strong finish for the shooter.
Effortless in the way that he went for that handoff and that drive. Man, you gotta love Maymay.
He knows how to get buckets. Oh, there's a hooking foul over here against Wei Yong of Kuala Lumpur. So they are now, Coach Mike, early on, they're in the penalty.
Look at the way he received that handoff and how quickly and smoothly he went for that layup shot. Man, Maymay is really something else.
And that Chun Hong Ting drive is our move of the game, presented by Pure Gold. Hesed Gabo, our friend over in the panel, Javi Palanya, called him one of the, or if not the best point guard at the mid-pro level, Coach
Right,
Mike.
right. I couldn't agree with you with that. Definitely. Hesed Gabo is up there. He can immediately turn it on, whatever you need from him. Assist, points, aggression, defense. He'll give it to you. Just tell him what you need.
Finals MVP yan dun sa ating FILBASKET Subic Invitational as Wei Yong able to convert on that unmolested layup.
Here's the thing about Wei Yong. They don't give him enough credit because maybe the way he plays and his size, but really he's able to play against these big guys even at this level.
Right. No fear for Ong Wei Young, but he gets a foul that time. As we take a look at the replay screens over here, Ong Wei Young coasting through, uncontested, unmolested.
The way he elevated, grabe. If you look at Wei Yong, parang typical na Filipino players sa street ball na, you know, you find in the streets, playing with slippers, minsan nakayapak pa, but, you know, he's able to compete against the big and stronger, faster guys against him. So that's credit to Wei Yong for the effort that he's put into bettering his game.
As Michael Mabulak shoots his free throws, our prize money sponsor is brought to us by eMedisure Pharmacy. Maraming salamat po. So 15-11 is our score. Interception that time by Renz Air Palma. The dish to Bitoon. Another pass leading to Bakulanag, and he is blocked that time.
That time too tight right there for Bakulanag.
Oh, Shen Fu called for traveling.
The defense forced him to commit that turnover. Credit that to Renz Palma. And with Nueva Ecija trying to go for that pressure even in the backcourt, that already goes to show when they're not going to give enough time on the front end para makapag-set up itong Kuala Lumpur.
Right. So quick action we are witnessing over here. Chris Bitoon calls for a screen from Bakulanag. Bitoon trapped up here by Maymay. Mabulak now. The quick double team. Wigo touch pass to Bakulanag. Able to convert on that layup.
Good read, a good cut, easy basket. That's how you do it, Nueva Ecija style.
Capitals up 6. Maymay now goes under the Wei Young screen. The dish, that is too high for Ong Wei Young, for Oh Shen Fu rather. But
you see even that in that situation, I think we're ahead to a timeout, Anthony. See right here, Mabulak, the feed inside, beautiful basketball right there between the guys from Nueva Ecija.
We will now have a quick timeout here with Nueva Ecija up 17-11. Back to the action over here at the Muntinlupa Sports Center. Anthony Perez here, joined by Coach Mike Perez. As we take a look now at Michael Mabulak, he had a big game in their previous outing versus Danao City MJAS, and in 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and Coach Mike, a lot of toughness.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those 14 points and 6 of 9 field goal shooting, it only goes to show you the versatility of a Michael Mabulak. Whether a guy's taller than him or it's full length of the floor, this guy can play end to end.
So side baseline inbounds, that goes to Mei Mei. Kick out here, Zipueng. Traveling is the call by our referee.
Speaking of linebackers, you got Macaloni on the floor now for Nueva Ecija.
Ready to bring on the hurt and the pounding against Kuala Lumpur.
Right.
So let's see how they match up now. Uyloan going to Bitoon. Quick passing here by the Capitals. Bitoon, the drive, Malukanag. Underneath, no go. Bitoon gets it back. 12 seconds on the shot clock for the Capitals. Malukanag. Macaloni not aware. Bitoon step back, fall away Jay. Meanwhile, Wico with the rebound. Ball tapped up again. Look at the effort, Coach Mike of Nueva Ecija.
It's not about the size. It's about how you box out. It's the guy who's most active when that ball is in the air, nobody owns it, is the one who usually gets that leather, which in this case happens to be Nueva Ecija.
So Michael Wico, that inbounds go to Bitoon. Meanwhile, Uloan straight away free. No good. Look at Wico hustle back, but this time it goes to Mei Mei.
Always the hustle man, Michael Wico.
Definitely. Ocean Fu from the corner, rims out. Here comes Wei Young, swatted up top by Uloan, but there is going to be a foul. So first personal foul here against the team captain of the Nueva Ecija Capitals. Whistled that time for that bump in mid-air against Wei Young.
Yeah, and that's one interesting matchup that I hope to see be going at each other, Uyloan and Mei Mei. I want to see how Uyloan responds to the activity of Mei Mei. If you look at Mei Mei, in twice that action when he went through that stagger, every time there's a deflection, hindi mo nakikitang nararatel, you know? He knows what the next action would be. So he stays with that leather and he stays with that possession.
Again, Coach Mike, if you're averaging 26 points per game here in the FILBASKET, yung mga pagkakataon na ganun, parang focus ka na lang eh, di ba?
Correct.
Uyloan now the dish to Wico. Oh, Macaloni falls down that time as we now greet one of our sponsors, Manila Kingpin, who will open their first branch in Cebu called Manila Kingpin Cebu. Big shout out to you guys.
I would go here out on a limb. I would say Michael Wico is the best interior passing guard there is in FILBASKET. The way he catches that leather and sees that open guy and immediately passes that, those jump passes are just something to marvel at from for Michael Wico.
Of course, Michael Wico drafted in the third round in 2017 by the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters out of San Sebastian. Again, as what Coach Mike said, one of the best interior passers here in the FILBASKET Summer Championships. As Will Macaloni is good on his second charity.
And actually, that pass makes it easier because the big guys inside are able to catch his passes.
Yes.
Kaya napapaganda lalo.
Uyloan now, Balukanag. He likes that undergoal staff, and that works for him.
Again, interior passing for Nueva Ecija. That's been the story so far of the match.
Ocean Fu from the corner again. Still no go from that same spot. Bitoon now. Presses on the brakes. Little behind the back pass is thwarted that time. They go out to Uyloan. 12 seconds on the Nueva Ecija shot clock. Macaloni going underneath, but he is hacked and will head to the line again for two.
Yeah, but Macaloni, if you leave that middle free and he's on the right side being a lefty, that's like a gift, a birthday gift that's very easy for you. If you're a lefty, you love that. That's why it's very difficult to be going up against a lefty because they can finish going left and they can also finish going right. So that's why I like players who are left-handed.
Definitely. And we would like to thank Cantigo Scoreboard, our multi-sport scoring solutions, for your support of the FILBASKET.
At sa mga naandyan sa bahay, kung nandito lang kayo sa Muntinlupa, you don't want to miss out on Mei Mei playing tonight. Go here in Muntinlupa Sports Complex and see the action live.
Ocean Fu taking the contact, gets that ball again. Kick out here to Wei Young. Mei Mei, free right wing. Oh, that's short for him. But Kuala Lumpur still fighting for that and diving for the loose ball. Gotta admire the hustle here for the boys of Coach Guga.
Did you see how Hesed Gabot just leaped out from the bench to pick up his fallen teammate, man? This team's a family, I tell you, Nueva Ecija.
And they are being led by Hesed Gabo. Meanwhile, we have a timeout here. Nueva Ecija up 21-12. Back to the action over here at the Muntinlupa Sports Center as we take a look at the Nueva Ecija Capitals going back to their previous outing against Danao City. No Nueva Ecija player exceeded 23 minutes. All 11 of them who saw action scored. So Coach Mike, this already shows you the depth that Coach Gerson Cabildes has in his lineup.
The depth and the trust that any guy that he puts inside would be able to stay within the system and execute it and to lead them to a win. As you see, Uyloan with another 3.
Perfect execution, Bakamo. Jonathan Uyloan, Soy Suhao. Kuala Lumpur now looking to attack, but no, they turn it over. Macaloni ahead to Uyloan. Oh, Wei Yong picks his pocket over now to Yizo, and he is fouled up top. And he will go to the line for 2.
Again, masterful display of reads there for Wei Yong, knowing there's a bigger guy in front of him, tried to make Macaloni commit before he dished off to Wei Yong on that last attempt.
Of course, FILBASKET is presented to us by Pure Gold, our official sponsor of the Summer Championships.
But one thing you notice though about the scheme of Coach Gerson Cabildes on containing Mei is that every time on that handoff, they blitz him. They go to a double team until he gives up that leather, then everybody just goes and recovers on their defensive coverage.
Of course, when you have a lights-out shooter of Mei's caliber, you do every trick in the book to try to contain him and at least make him bleed for his baskets. As Wico now on the attack. A little hesitation step, is that what you call it, Coach Mike?
My goodness, and Tick Boy can really just shake his head over that shot attempt by Michael Wico.
Capitals again looking to run. Biton, touch pass, Wico, Balucanag on the finish and on the trail.
The cohesion of Nueva Ecija in full display as they lead by 14. And so far, Kuala Lumpur is 0 out of 5 from beyond 3. Credit to the defense of the Capitals.
The main weapon of Kuala Lumpur not clicking for them right now as Yiweg will misfire. Macaloni tracks it down. Closing seconds of our first quarter. Biton ships it over to Wico. Euro step gets the foul and he will head to the line again.
Wow, and that just has been the story so far of the quarter for Nueva Ecija, preventing those 3-pointers, making sure there's a guy that closes out. As we see that touch pass again by Nueva Ecija, Biton just sharing that leather with Balucanag, finishing on that transition.
That is how you execute a fast break to Coach Gerson Cabildes' liking. As the former San Sebastian Stag will hit on that charity. So it is now the largest lead of the game for Nueva Ecija at 15 points, 29-14. Looking to close out this quarter strong.
I remember in that game versus ICC, Kuala Lumpur opened with 4 3-pointers, all 12 points coming off threes. But right now, not a single 3. Credit again to Nueva Ecija's coverage on the defensive end.
Almost, Coach Mike, as we were just talking, a near steal here caused by Will Macaloni. But our officials will just sort out the possession arrow, but it appears it's going to the side of the black shirts.
And I think this is the most physical team that Kuala Lumpur has faced so far in this tournament.
And a real test at that.
Right.
Oh, near steal completed here by Bringas. Biton loses it.
Unlikely turnover there from Mei.
But here he is now, looking to attack Siruma. Back out to Wei Yong. 14 seconds here on the Kuala Lumpur shot clock. Wei Yong Looking for a receiver. They go to Kwan Yung Jin. Forces up a wild one. Rebound here by Bringas. 8 seconds now before the end of the first quarter. Wico loses it almost. Tracked down again. Macaloni, the runner, does not fall. And that will end our first quarter of action. 30-14 in favor of Nueva Ecija. As Kuala Lumpur looking for answers after that first quarter storm put up by the Nueva Ecija Capitals. As we take a look at some of the highlights of our opening quarter, Kwek Ten Yen, the high point man last time for Kuala Lumpur, doing some damage, as well as Michael Mabulak, able to convert from in close. But it is the passing of Nueva Ecija that has been quite a problem to solve for Kuala Lumpur early on. And to leave you here, 30-14 is our score. Second quarter action here at the Muntinlupa Sports Complex, featuring the Nueva Ecija Capitals and the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Anthony Perez here, still being joined by Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, at the end of our first quarter, Nueva Ecija, the defense, the passing, the running, put them up 30-14.
Right, and the first quarter points, they're 9 out of 20 and 4 out of 16 from a field goal attempt standpoint. And Nueva Ecija really just shooting 58%. And the inside points, 14 versus 8. The interior passing really of Nueva Ecija is what kept Kuala Lumpur at bay.
And if it's the interior passing that has been working well for Nueva Ecija, as Kwek drains that three-pointer, it is the free-point shooting of Kuala Lumpur that appears to be lacking in that first quarter.
Right, and take a look at that. It's the only first field goal attempt made from 3 by Kuala Lumpur. They are now 1 out of 7 from that area.
Of course, they are going to need more of Kwek Ten Yen, who was their high point man in their last game. He had 6 free-pointers in that win against the Atami Sardines. Meanwhile, Michael Wico again troops to the line for 2.
Michael Wico is going to be seriously a difficult cover rather para dito sa Kuala Lumpur. They have to have players who's as quick as him and as strong as him from the inside. But you know, I don't think there's a guy that can match up to Michael Mabulak's activity inside the floor.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see how Kuala Lumpur recovers on that deficiency.
Meanwhile, FILBASKET is brought to us by Cilium Fiber, manufactured by De Leone Agri Corporation. Maraming salamat po for your support. As Ja Jun, a new entry here for Kuala Lumpur, looks to direct traffic.
People are just really waiting for May to start exploding from 3, and this venue is gonna go nuts.
As Kwek Ten Yen tries the three-point shot, but that doesn't work for him. So Biton looks to set up the table here for the Capitals. Biton, they'll stop and pop jump shot, does not drop. Battle for the loose ball. That will go to the side of Kuala Lumpur.
A good boxing out there by May that time, battling against JR Taganas. Gusto mo yon kung si May ang player mo, dahil nakita mo hindi lang siya, I guess, kumukuha ng bola at humihingi. He's also battling to gain possession on the other end.
Of course, May, Coach Mike, is not just a shooter. He averages, believe it or not, 8 rebounds per game.
Right. So in your words from the previous broadcast, he's really is a two-way player as well.
Yes. Kok Ho, now to Kwek. Kick out to Ja Jun on the up fake.
Good
Pull-up
fake.
jump shot, all air that time. Rebound here by JR. Almost a turnover. And that will still go to the side of Nueva Ecija.
And Manalang, another addition here for the guard rotation. for Nueva Ecija.
So now we have a quick update here from Sam Coloso. Sam, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Anthony. Sabi ni Coach Guga from Kuala Lumpur, ASEEL, the team is a bit tired coming in because of the weather. They know that the team they're up against today is strong. They're struggling a bit today dahil wala nga si Megan because of his muscle tear. Buti na lang, nakabalik na ang iba niyang key players tulad ni Maymay. Anthony, Coach Mike.
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Again, Megan Mahadevan, who's averaging 4 points per game, 4 rebounds per game. But Coach Mike, more than the output that he gives, it's all about the size and the physicality that Megan could have brought to the table here. Napakaganda sanang matchup laban sa Nueva Ecija front line.
I agree, and I was talking to Coach Guga the other day, and I told him, Megan is my guy. I like the way he plays. I kinda liken him to a little Charles Barkley or something. And unfortunately, in that match, he got injured. So we're missing really the services of a big guy for Kuala Lumpur.
Siya lang yung parang iba yung laro na big man compared to guys like Kwek, Anthony Liu, those big men for them. As Maymay fought about that free. Boy, they could have used his services against this very hefty Nueva Ecija front line as a turnover goes the other way in favor of Kuala Lumpur.
This promises to be a very high-paced ball game because each team loves to run on every live turnover. They don't like baskets and then setting up the table on the offensive end. They want to go to that open floor and have all their skill set be shown until they make those baskets.
But Kuala Lumpur is still facing a world of trouble over here. Their 9 turnovers really putting them into a 35-17 hole early on.
And again, that just goes to show the type of defense that Nueva Ecija puts up. Ooh, and Pamboy Raimundo on that backdoor floater, man.
Back pass by J.R. Taganas. Nets that too for Pamboy Raimundo. Chun Hong Ting kick out to Zhenje. Corner free. That's what they need, and they needed more of that, Coach Mike.
Yeah, they need someone else to produce in the absence of Maymay being checked each and every time on the offensive floor.
Still a 17-point ball game here in favor of the Capitals. As Raimundo, a little skip floater that time. Second straight basket for Pamboy.
Must be the shoes, Pamboy. Must be the shoes. I like those peak shoes.
Working well for Pamboy Raimundo. As Kwek chips it over here to Maymay. Chun Hong Ting, step back free. Still misfiring. Still hasn't found the range so far, Coach Mike.
Yeah, could either be the defense of Nueva Ecija or again, what Sam Coloso mentioned earlier, could be the weather just tiring out the Kuala Lumpur team and going up against this much physicality. It could really, I guess, put some burden on you as we see players down on the floor right now, Anthony.
As we take a look now at our pure gold move of the game, Pamboy Raimundo with the cross-step runner. Able to drain that from about 14 feet away. That is presented to us by Pure Gold. Meanwhile, our custodian trying to mop the floor, trying to make it less slippery for our players. As again, Chang Zifeng checks in here for Kuala Lumpur, as well as Wei Young, joining Kwek, Oh Shen Fu, and Tem Zhenje. And also our prize money sponsor is brought to us by eMedisure Pharmacy. Thank you very much for your support. Zifeng and Kuala Lumpur looking to attack over here. Tem Zhenje puts up the runner. Almost getting the lucky bounce, but does not work for him.
Almost every option, Anthony, just closed out there for Kuala Lumpur, taking too much of their offensive time.
Meanwhile, Philip Manalang trying to do a spin move sin cycle of his own. But Nueva Ecija will still have a crack at the possession over here. Meanwhile, Michael Mabulak set the chick back in for the white shirts.
But if you're Coach Guga now, as we see that replay right there of that action, again, offensive boards have been the story for Nueva Ecija, and that half really showing and playing a factor in that rebounding numbers for Nueva Ecija. And as I was saying, if you're Coach Guga, you also would be happy seeing that the fight in your team despite being down and considering, you know, the weather and how things have been kind of tiring his players, but, you know, they're still fighting out there.
Right. And that's what you want to see, you know, Coach Mike, as we greet Wilson, our official game ball of the FILBASKET. If you're a young Malaysian player and you see these these players who build the core, who make up the core of the Malaysian basketball squad, you really have to, really admire how Coach Guga, who is a legend, is a legend of his own in Malaysian basketball, how he's, still reminding his team to keep on fighting, even though we're matched up against a pretty, a pretty hefty, a pretty big opponent in the likes of Nueva Ecija.
That's right. And, this team is really trying to build themselves in preparation for the SEA Games. So you can see the level of preparation that they do and training para makapag naglaban sila dun sa SEA Games, they can compete and, hope to get a gold medal finish at least in the SEA Games.
Of course, the Malaysian basketball squad in the last edition of the Southeast Asian Games did not win a medal except for the women's free x free bronze medal. So at least, Coach Mike, you see the progress in Malaysian basketball.
Right, and the way that we're seeing it now, minsan nga mako-confuse ka, feeling mo Korea yung naglalaro with their style of play. If you haven't seen them, if it's your very first time seeing them, you kind of confuse them to be Korea at some point.
And that is how exactly Korea plays. The building of building around of that offense based on that three-point shot. I think it also offers so many good lessons here for our local Pinoy ballers. Parang you're being exposed to different styles of play at this level of basketball.
Which is the example that, again, this team is showing us, Kuala Lumpur, na hindi porke magagaling yung mga kalaban, susuko ka na lang. Dapat pagpatuloy ka pa rin sa mga training mo, sa pagsusumikap mo makapaglaro ka, and in the hope of, getting to represent the country. As we see right there, I think...
it's Oh Shen Fu who was being knocked down that time, but able to get back up as he is subbed over here for Wee Yong Gan, combo guard for the ASEEL.
Wee Yong Gan going down after that contact inside the paint.
So 14 seconds to work with as we take a look at this three-point shot for the ASEEL. It's a miss. No, that was an elbow, I think, by Steven Saruma to the face of Oh Shen Fu that really knocked him down. Back to the action we go, Tem Zhenje.
I'm pretty sure Saruma would say that's incidental.
Knowing how tough Steven Saruma is.
Right, and that's really just part of the contact when you play the game of basketball.
Mabulak loses it, but Pamboy Raimundo. Coach Mike, how many times has he done that in this ball game? That one-legged runner in the lane.
Yeah, and I missed that shot. I missed that shot too. That one-legged runner. And just, Pamboy Raimundo just bringing it back to us.
Wee Yong Gan, nowhere to go, says Michael Mabulak, swatting that shot away.
I'm sure at this point, Kuala Lumpur feels that they want to check if there's really just 5 Nueva Ecija players on the floor. See Michael Mabulak right there, and that floater run in by Pamboy Raimundo.
Working for him all game long, that one-legged floater, Pamboy Raimundo. As Nueva Ecija goes back to their sets, Mabulak again. Inside, in close. That works for Michael. Continuation is good, as we would like to thank Contigo Scoreboard, our multi-sport scoring solution. Michael Mabulak continuing his dominance inside from that last game. As we take a look at him banging bodies against May May, no problem for the former JRU Heavy Bomber.
Galing talaga ni Coach Gerson Cabiltes. He knew sa lahat ng games ng Kuala Lumpur, that's a little bit of yung Achilles heel nila, the big guys dito sa Kuala Lumpur, and he's taking advantage because he knows he has the weapon to take advantage of that deficiency of Kuala Lumpur.
And there is no shortage of big men for Coach Gerson Cabiltes.
Correct.
We mentioned Mabulak. Jesse Collado is joining him. On the bench, you have Macaloni and Taganas, a wealth of hefty big men to choose from.
Grabe. And, you envy Coach Gerson if you're with that wealth that you mentioned. Sobrang yung luxury ng, mapapahinga mo, pag pinalitan, parang yung walang nawala sa'yo. I mean, look at the bench. JR Taganas is there sitting. You have Michael Wico sitting. You have Hesed Gabo that's seated.
Coach Mike, again, keeping it on the side of Nueva Ecija, their opening day loss was a shocker, quite to say, But 3 straight wins after that. How are you liking, as we mentioned, Wilson, the official game ball of the FILBASKET, how are you liking the bench dynamic of Coach Gerson Cabiltes as the head coach, but an active consultant there is Coach Stevenson too? How is that dynamic working out for them?
Well, I think it's really just credit to the amount of exchange of ideas between those two. Similar to how I kind of liken the Tanduayram coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's the similar stuff and the dynamics of being able to exchange ideas and exchange technologies on how would be, they'd be playing the games in the different schemes. As we see another basket there from Chang Ji-Fueng.
So Chan Zifueng drains that jump shot, but it is still a 48-22 ball game.
Clearly
Mabulak, he likes that low block.
Clearly
Kick out, Collado, open free, rims out. Tracked down there by Maymay. Oh, there's a collision off the ball. No match at all if you're talking about collisions. Oh, Weng Yang cannot really, put his body on the line against Michael Mabulak.
Oh yeah, that's definitely difficult. Look at that. He was trying to clip him as well. Both of them actually trying to clip each other. And it could be some sort of just letting go of that arm which made him fall by himself. Michael didn't really push him that much.
So Ong Wei Yong, point guard here for Kuala Lumpur, being sent to the line. And also Coach Mike, now, if you take a look at Kuala Lumpur, we talked about the influence that they're putting also as well on the Philippine brand of game. They themselves have a Filipino in their lineup, and he is assistant coach,
Right.
Jeff Viernes.
Right.
So they're also, again, taking a lot of lessons of from Coach Jeff Viernes and bringing it to their system of basketball. As we mentioned, our sponsor Manila Kingpin will be opening their first branch in Cebu, Manila Kingpin Cebu. Again, lots of lessons to be exchanged between both nationalities as Michael Mabulak again converts from inside.
Yeah, and this lead is starting to balloon now at 26, but Kuala Lumpur is still competing. As you see that patented high-low between Collado and Mabulak.
And that is our Smart Instant Replays brought to us by Smart Simple, Smart Taco. Of course, Michael Mabulak, the only player in double figures in their last game against Danao City. But kahit na ganun, Coach Mike, even if he's the only player in double figures, 6 players of Coach Gerson, at least 8 points each.
Yep, and Nueva Ecija right now, with all those points, they are shooting 63% from the field and 30% from the three-point region. And anytime you have a team that's shooting that way, it's going to be a long night for you.
As May with a strong drive, he's trying to, get himself going by at least, as we take a look at this alley-oop play, going to Renz Air Palma off that baseline inbounds. So going back to May, no, Coach Mike, the free-point shot not really working for him this ball game. So that time, tried to take it closer and see if he can get going by converting on his free throws.
That's right, and the three-point continues to be a struggle para dito sa Kuala Lumpur. On the average, they're actually shooting about 30% per game. On a really good night, they'll be shooting around 40% from the three-point region, and with the volume threes that they're getting. Right now, they're shooting only 2 out of 13 for a measly 15%. The only time, the game that I saw where they had lesser attempts was in that game when Maymay did not participate. And so even now with Maymay inside the floor, he still could not get any attempts. The volume of threes still not there, especially for Maymay.
Could also be the fatigue kicking in, Coach Mike, because Maymay, he actually arrived the day prior to this, from Doha, Qatar, representing Malaysia in a free event.
Right.
So he's doing extra duty here for Team Malaysia.
And somehow his numbers could be down from before he left.
Yeah.
When he came back, they played Atami, Sardine, Zamboanga. The contributions there would be from the other players, not much from Maymay. And right now, I guess that struggle just continues here for Maymay.
Collado now puts it on the deck. Loses that on the way up. It will go back to the side of the black shirts. With just 2:16 to go in our second quarter, Nueva Ecija up by a huge 52-25 advantage. Meanwhile, FILBASKET is presented to us by Pure Gold, our official sponsor for the Summer Championships. Yongjin, handoff action here with Yi Hao.
Look at that, look at that.
Quick double team being put up here by the Capitals. Almost a turnover, Chang Zifueng, and that will do it for Kuala Lumpur. It is a turnover of that great defensive pressure by the Capitals.
Right. Every time on any handoff action, they're always going to blitz that and force that guy to go to the corner so that they can double them. And right there, it just shows you the power of that scheme para kay Coach Gerson Cabiltes.
Raimundo is hacked from behind by Wei Young. Scrappy little guy this is. Wei Young, kanina nakipagbanggaan ka Michael Mabulak. Ngayon naman trying to go toe-to-toe with Pamboy Raimundo. Got to admire the effort though as Pamboy Raimundo heads to the line.
And it's going to be interesting what the talk is going to be at halftime for Kuala Lumpur. As this could be one of the biggest deficits that they faced, I guess, at least compared to their first game against San Juan. And we'll see how they recover from here. They still have 2 more full quarters to get back. Look at that.
Oh, look at this great pressure defense being shown by the Capitals. Cheng Zifueng, corner. That goes.
They need more of that, though. They need more of that, definitely. And the defense of Nueva Ecija still no let-up. They're still going to those double teams. They're still blitzing those handoffs. And man, just excellent defense here by Nueva Ecija.
And great execution too, Coach Mike, as Pamboy Raimundo leaves it inside to the low block for Macaloni. Macaloni is fouled on the way up by Yoongjin.
And you brought up a good point. It is about execution, because even if the coach has all these bright ideas, but if the players don't want to do it on the floor, then everything just goes for naught.
Yes.
So you have to be able to know things and to be able to do it on the floor so that it gives you the results that you need to have.
And also, Coach Mike, no, looking at the way Nueva Ecija plays, I think they have 2 modes of scoring. Either they pound it inside with their big men, Macaloni, Taganas, Mabulak, you name it. And they can also run you over with guys like Pamboy Raimundo, Hazel Gabo, and Philip Manalang.
Right, and could be, for all you know, baka isa sa mga incentive nila if you're able to get a turnover live, you are free to run. Baka ganun ang instructions ni Coach Gerson. And if you're a player, you want that because it gives you more freedom to play the game.
Right. Manalang brings it back out to Pamboy. Just under a minute to go in our second quarter. Raimundo, kick out. Collado, back to Palma. Palma, left wing free. That does not fall. May tracks it down.
Maybe time for about 2 more possessions before we call it a half.
Corner, Chang Zifueng. Same spot, different result. Nalang now looking to push. Philip along the baseline, kick out. Raimundo, look at that ball movement by Nueva Ecija. Pamboy goes under the Collado screen. Collado puts it up, fade away. That will not fall as, again, it is Wei Young trying to do something at least, Coach Mike, despite his slender and slight frame.
I think we need to introduce this guy to Omega painkillers here in the country. I'm sure that body's gonna be sore the next day.
Let's take a look at this action off the ball. So Collado puts it up, but Wei Young trying to wrestle with Renz Palma down low.
But you like that he's competing, no? Kahit na malaki yung ano niya, hindi na lang siya tumatabi, talagang lumalaban siya, di ba?
Reminds me of yung mga tipong Patrick Beverly, yung mga tipong gano'n, yung Scrappy, Scrappy guards.
At saka shoe on the other end, nung kalaban ng nasa Worlds tayo maliliit. Ganun rin ginagawa ng mga players natin against the bigger countries, di ba?
Right.
Tayo naman yung nasasaktan yung katawan back then. But you still wanna compete kasi in a way that's national pride, eh.
So last 7 seconds before the end of our first half, Collado lines it up. No good. Palma, second effort, still no go. And the horn will sound an end of our first half of action. Nueva Ecija up 56-30 against Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. No contest being put up here by the ASEEL as the Nueva Ecija Capitals, our number 3 team, up ahead by 26 big points. sights of the Muntinlupa Sports Center. Our battleground here for this evening's matchup featuring the Nueva Ecija Capitals and the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. As we take a look now at our first half of action highlights, Kuala Lumpur ASEEL looking to attack on the break, but Nueva Ecija just much better passing, much better execution against the black shirts, who are still looking at a 26-point puzzle over here to begin our second half of action, as Pamboy Raimundo and company, as well as Jesse Collado and Michael Mabulak, putting on the hurt, putting on the damage against the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Anthony Perez here being joined by Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, let's take a look at some numbers to end our first half of action.
Well, if you look at the numbers now, inside points 30, which only goes to show the interior passing of Nueva Ecija with 13 assists versus 7. Rebound disparity huge as well. The heft and the size of Nueva Ecija in full display and leading them up to a 60% shooting clip. A lot of this inside the paint.
And of course, a huge question mark for Kuala Lumpur has been the performance of their star, Chun Hong Ting, or known more commonly by Mei Mei, who has been bottled up by the Nueva Ecija defense.
Well, it's not just Mei Mei, but everyone that comes off those pin downs and those handoffs. Each and every time Nueva Ecija will be coming in and blitzing them, having two guys cover them. And as we see here, Michael Mabulak with the score lead for Nueva Ecija at 11, followed by those floaters by Pamboy Raimundo and Tin Chong Hong and Ong Wei Yong. Only the guys scoring 6 points apiece, and the others at 5 for Shang Ji Fuen and Quang Tiak Wen. Yuan.
Nueva Ecija getting a load of scoring from all different angles. On another side, Kuala Lumpur ASEEL still looking for that additional help, that additional guy to help the scoring cudgels for them, as they are down by 26 big points to open up our second half.
Well, Coach Guga might want to look at their previous game against the Atami Sardines, when they were up by as much as 18 and the lead was cut down further. I think the closest at the latter part of the fourth quarter to 4 points. I think some lessons there could be learned by the Kuala Lumpur team. We'll see how this goes.
But, you know, Coach Mike, no, going back to our first half of action, kahit na talaga natambakan na tong Kuala Lumpur ASEEL, you can still see the fight, especially in guys like the slight and slender Ong Wei Yang, still, you know, sacrificing his body for the better good of the team.
That's right, that's right. And you love that competition in this Kuala Lumpur guys. You know, they didn't come in here just to be, you know, tambakan or, you know, labangan ng malaki, but they're really out there competing and knowing this is somehow a sense of national pride. Better ball movement now and man movement for Kuala Lumpur.
Able to track it down is Kok Ho. Down to 10 seconds of the shot clock for Kuala Lumpur. Back out to Kwek Yen Yen. Lines up a freeze, still no go for the big man, but Oh Xian Fu able to collect and gets the 2 that time.
No, they need that. That's a good way to start the quarter. A bad pass right there for Nueva Ecija.
Renz Palma unable to control that pass. And here come the ASEEL now. Of course, to our audiences tuning in via Facebook, YouTube, Kumu, and TikTok, please remember to like, follow, and subscribe our page at FILBASKET on our social media official pages, as Kwek Yen Yen being bottled up for traveling. Coach Mike, earlier we were talking off the air about the big men of Kuala Lumpur. They are tall, yes. They are long, yes. But it's the footwork inside that seems to be lacking for them.
Correct. And I know that Coach Guga has already seen that as well. And I know that's a work in progress for the team. But it really needs to be something that they address, because they have to have post presence in order to complement their shooters from the outside. In the absence of that, if the shots don't go in from the outside, they have nothing else to go to.
Speaking of post presence, Will McAloney fighting against free Kuala Lumpur ASEEL defender, still able to get that rebound and heads to the line for a new opportunity.
Itong mga mama ng Nueva Ecija, sa sobrang laki nila, pag pumasok ka sa iskinita, babalik ka pagkasalubong mo sila. No? Ganun yun.
Yun yung mga ayaw mong makasalubong, Coach Mike.
Babalik ka na lang. No? Antayin mo na lang silang dumaan.
So look now at Will McAloney, 4 points, 2 rebounds to his name. in this ball game, and possession arrow will troop to the side of Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, they gotta take it a possession at a time. Try and chip down on this deficit.
But not the way you want to go if you're Kwek Tien Yen. Should have given up earlier to Kok Ho.
It's really the defense that forced him to put that leather on the floor and to try to beat that press with a dribble. And if you're a big man, sadly, you can't do that.
Again, the core of Kuala Lumpur ASEEL, they make up the Malaysian national team squad, looking to develop, looking to hone their game in time for the Southeast Asian Games this year.
But I think the Kuala Lumpur guys are doing a better job of covering that paint area. As you see that drive and a miss.
Cesed Gabo now looking to run. Renz Palma back to Macaloni, back to Balucanag. There will be a foul off the basketball before that layup. So Kwek Tien Yen being whistled for that foul.
Oh, that's problems here. For Kwek, that's his 5th foul.
Right. He will sit down, their high point man in their last game. He had 6 triples in their win against the Atami Sardines. Now sits down with still 7 minutes to go in our 3rd quarter, Coach Mike.
And
Meanwhile, Wilson is the official game ball to 2022 FILBASKET.
And that's a huge blow for Kuala Lumpur. I mean, Kwek's been the best player of the game the last time they were here. And now he's gone, and May not producing much. So either May's got to pick it up, or the other big guys need to control the paint against Nueva Ecija.
Kuala Lumpur still looking for answers, but there is a push off the ball that is going against Oh Sien Fu, or rather Bobby Balucanag, for shoving Oh Sien Fu down. Let's take a look at this. A rough screen being put up by Bobby Balucanag against Oh Sien Fu. Wei Young, turnover, yes it is, goes to Balucanag. Cesed Gabo, down the baseline, is pushed, but ball will remain here with Nueva Ecija.
He knew that defense was late, that he won't be able to make it, so the only option that he can to stop that possible penetration from Gabo is just to foul him.
Cesed, right wing free, you bet. Cesed Gabo connects from deep.
Didn't you say earlier that he can just turn it on anytime,
Yep.
Anthony?
Showing us why he was named the FILBASKET Finals MVP at the Subic Bubble.
That's going to be a difficult cover right there.
Yeho gets the screen from Anthony Liu. Back out to Wei Young. Side jumper is good for Wei Young.
These guys are shooter, and what Coach Jerson is trying to do to them is just to make them put that ball on the floor and, you know, have them to do multiple dribbles instead of just being catch and shoot.
Iniiba yung rhythm no, Coach Mike. Wei Young and Macaloni getting on it. Right on the floor. Referees had to break them up. Tempers flaring between the two. Macaloni not liking that from Wei Young. And the Malaysian also had things to say on his own. But good job though, Coach Mike, by our referees to break up the immediate incursion being put up by the two.
You gotta credit that to the refs immediately going in there and stopping anything else that would have come up. And right now the players are being asked to go to their respective benches and to stay there until further instructions from the officials.
To take a look at this sequence on our replay screen, Macaloni and Wei Young thrown to the floor on their own volition. I think they were trying to wrestle for position over here, Coach Mike's a low block. But they're able to shake it off, and cooler heads prevailing after that heated encounter between Will Macaloni and Wei Young. More smiles being exchanged. That's what you like to see, no?
Right.
Nagkaroon man tayo ng initan, but at the end of the day, sports pa rin tayo.
Correct. Ano lang, competition lang, pero maintain yung yung pagiging sport natin, ika nga, and these guys are really just competitors inside, and both teams want to win. And for Wei Young, you know, your team is down a lot and you want to get back into this game. Right. And you want to get another win after that win over Atami Sardines Zamboanga. You want to go on a win streak. But at the rate things out now, and with the players that with Kwek fouling out, things looking very difficult for Team Kuala Lumpur.
And again, kasi Coach Mike, no, yung mga heated encounters na ganun, that helps no one.
Correct.
That helps no one when
Correct.
you're down by this big of a margin. I mean, you're only putting your team in a much deeper hole if, halimbawa, you get the whistle for unsportsmanlike or you're kicked out of the ball game. Again, the cooler you are in these, tense moments, the better it will help your team.
That's right. Definitely agree on that, Anthony.
So double foul being called here on both. Or rather, a double technical on both players for that heated exchange early on. But we're glad to see that we are back to action over here. Again, good job by our officials to separate the two. Anthony Liu now to Kok Ho. Trying to maneuver around Balukanag. Shut down. Wei Young, jump shot, double hitches it. That goes nowhere as ball goes back to the side of Nueva Ecija.
Definitely that form on the shot wasn't there, so that really is not getting anywhere.
Hesed Gabo and Nueva Ecija looking to build on that big lead. Meanwhile, FILBASKET is brought to us by Celium Fiber, manufactured by Leone Agri Corporation. Corner free does not work for Byron Villarias.
And Kuala Lumpur just really trying to find someone who could produce points for them. And right there, Wong Yi Ho putting that leather into the hoop.
So Wei Young able to find Yi Ho down low, who gets the bucket with the foul. And that's instant replay is brought to us by Smart Simple, Smart Ako. We're turning over now to our courtside reporter, Sam Coloso, who has an update for us. Sam, go ahead.
Thank you, Anthony. Coach Guga was a bit frustrated coming into the second half of the game. Sabi niya nga na they're struggling in terms of physicality. They have to step up their defense and counter fast break. Anthony, Coach Mike?
Physicality, the size, again, not going in the favor of the side of Kuala Lumpur. But if you're Coach Guga, Coach Mike, again, you still have to admire the effort at least being put up by your squad.
And Coach Guga was on point when he mentioned those things. The physicality, they got to be able to adjust to that. And I feel with the attempts that they're getting on the Nueva Ecija side, they're doing a much better defensive stance against the bigs inside the paint. However, they still need to convert for them to cut down on this lead.
But still, though, at least they're catching a break over here with that foul. And with Yi Ho heading to the line. Nueva Ecija now in the penalty.
The big question now is when do we see... Oh, I think Maymay is already on the floor.
Yes, he
just came in. So hopefully something huge would come up from Maymay.
Again, Maymay. He tied Patrick Cabahug's record at the FILBASKET bubble with 9 triples of his own in that win against ICC. Kuala Lumpur desperately needing their star to erupt in our second half. Hesed Gabo now. Bothered here by Ong Wei Young. Meanwhile, our prize money sponsor is brought to us by eMedisure Pharmacy. Villarias takes a triple, swishes that from downtown.
Very easy play. Again, that's a staple play of Nueva Ecija. Getting that shooter off a stagger for a free three on top of the key.
But Coach Mike, in their previous wins, Nueva Ecija is not really known to be a three-point shooting team.
Right. Well, I guess it just doesn't show that much because a lot of the transitions been going on. But now as the tournament goes on, lalabas yung mga weapons na yan, and at some point in time they will eventually be going to that, especially in the big games. Again, the same play that they run, they rescreen that.
So push off the ball being called here against Tem Genje.
Well, Kuala Lumpur did a good job of staying on top of the guy that's coming off the stagger, preventing him to get to that spot. So that guy was forced to make another pin down to make Hesed Gabo come out the top of the key. But then there was a foul that was called. A good read, though, on the side of Nueva Ecija after that recovery defense by Kuala Lumpur.
So Byron Villarias at the line. Meanwhile, one of our sponsors, Manila Kingpin, will open their first branch in Cebu. Manila Kingpin, Cebu. Ong Wei Young. Over now to Chun Hong Ting. Quick double team being put up here by Nueva Ecija, but that is going to be a push. And I believe that's going against Hesed Gabo. Again, Nueva Ecija still putting up that intense pressure D against May May.
Yeah, there are some coaches that know that whenever a player's dribbling ability is suspect, what they do is they let them cross the half-court line, and once after he crosses, that's when the double would come and would make him stop and would have no options because he's too far out. As we see Commissioner Jai Reyes right there watching the games with us here in Muntinlupa Sports Center.
Here's an interesting stat though, no, Coach Mike, that I picked up about Kuala Lumpur. Yes, they can shoot it well from downtown, but in their last game, they only shot 58% from the free throw line. Isn't that weird? Na parang you can wax out from downtown, pero pagdating sa free throws, parang kulang.
Oo nga, may mga games talaga mga na ganun eh. But ideally, though, those free throws would really come easy for anybody who's shooting three. But, you know, there are really, I guess, some games that's like that.
Right, right. So sideline inbounds here, it is Wico.
But definitely on the practice after that game, you're gonna get a lot of free throw shooting practice after that match.
And meanwhile, we would like to greet Mayor and Attorney Jaime Fresnedi and Congressman Rafi Biazon of the Lone District of Muntinlupa. Maraming salamat po for tuning in to our FILBASKET tournament as Wei Young inside gets the deuce.
Temjen G able to beat that press by his lonesome off that dribble. Well executed play right there. Oh, ganda ng pasa.
There you go. Now on the drive, he gets the end one opportunity to go.
Excellent timing of that pass. And Michael Wico, seeing that closeout, immediately went to that basket. The kick, the drive, and the fabrication of that shot with that lucky bounce.
And that pure gold, that move of the game is presented to us by Pure Gold. Michael Wico, Coach Mike, how many times have we seen him go to the free throw line in this ball game? He has feasted on his charities.
Grabe. Kasi sobrang active nitong si Michael Wico, whether on off. Kita mo, pagka basket niya, nakadepensa sa kagad, di ba?
Right.
He knows his role inside the court. It's not just, you know, lamang kami, relax na tayo. At least they're still competing.
Wei Young finds Temjen G. Playing against Hezed Gabo, puts it on the deck. Foul over here. You could just see the frustration on Temjen's part. He just slapped the stanchion that time, Coach Mike. Sabi niya, parang ano ba bang kulang sa ating production ngayon?
Well, sabi nga ng mga magagaling na coaches, when you lose, you don't lose the lesson. So, win or lose in this match, they should bring something on the next game para, you know, they can learn from it and improve it as they go.
Right, and of course, also we would like to thank Contigo Scoreboard, our multi-sport scoring solution. So Nueva Ecija still up 70-43 with 4 minutes to go in our third quarter.
Look at how Michael Mabulak sets himself up for that post-up. He makes it look na parang magpipin down siya. Once he gets to that block, he makes that turn and muscles his way para maklaim niya yung spot na yon on the floor.
And that was against Wei Young, who earlier had an altercation with Will Macaloni. So he's not an easy post defender to go against.
Right. And sobrang napaka-veterano nito si Michael Mabulak.
Right. Of course, Michael Mabulak brings the toughness and interior scoring for Nueva Ecija Capitals. As Kwan Yong Jin enters the ball game again for the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL.
So far, Nueva Ecija really able to control the threes for Kuala Lumpur. Oh, right on cue.
Able to convert from deep. Finally, one of their other big men shooting it from downtown.
They need more of that, strings of that three.
Meanwhile, FILBASKET is presented to us by Pure Gold, our official sponsor for the Summer Championships. We go inside, double clutch, and two.
And that last possession, no player dribbled the ball more than thrice. So everybody was doing touch passing, trying to get to those open spots until the free man gets the shot.
As Temjeje misses that time. Coach Mike, that's what you want to see, no? The less dribbles on your offensive sets, the better execution it is.
That's right. I remember Coach Tex Winter in the triangle offense, he would say, a player who holds onto the ball for more than 3 seconds just shows you the lack of decision making of that player. But then when you look at, when you hear Coach Popovich, he says it's not 3 seconds. You have to be able to decide in 1.5 seconds. So ganun yung mga mentality ng mga really elite coaches, and they put that on their players so that when they play, talagang makikita mo yung result.
Emphasis on quick decision making, you know?
Yep. I don't know if you remember that Heat versus Spurs, wherein everybody was touch passing for San Antonio, and that's really just beautiful basketball. That's all you can say about that game.
And we hope na our players watching us right now or playing right now, no, they can take a page from those two great basketball minds.
Right. But not just the players, even the coaches in the country as well.
True.
I mean, even if you're just inter-barangay, inter-color, or inter-club, or what have you, you gotta instill that discipline and make sure whatever you teach your players are things that you know and things that you studied for.
So closing in on the last 2 minutes of our third quarter as Bitoon puts it on the deck. That is going to be an offensive foul.
Well, Bitoon forced to give a little shrug there on the defense against him in order to create some separation.
Still a 73-46 ball game in the winding down minutes of our third quarter. Temjenje, quick crossover against Wico, scoop shot, does not fall. Collado with the board.
And look at Collado just corralling that rebound for Nueva Ecija.
As Mabulak, touch pass, Wico, set back that time by the Kuala Lumpur defense.
Good block there for Kuala Lumpur.
Kwan Yong Jin, out to Mei Mei, transition free, still short, still cannot find the range, Coach Mike.
Still couldn't buy a basket even at this point in the game. I guess it really is true that shooting is half mental and half skill.
Right. As Chris Bitoon nails a mid-range jumper from about 15 feet.
Somehow it gets to you, no? Yung nagmimintis ka kahit na shooter ka.
Of course. Temjenje lines it up, still short. Also cannot buy a basket. Oiluan using the Collado screen. Back out to Mabulak. Nueva Ecija trying to work it around. Wico from the corner, overcooks it. But Jesse J. Collado cleans it up, no good.
Look at Michael Wico.
Wico underneath. That's going to be a travel. But again, Coach Mike, you have to admire the hustle being put up here.
Yeah, definitely.
By Michael Wico.
Definitely. As we see that action underneath, Michael Wico just battling inside, had nowhere to go, couldn't pass.
Able to do the stretch and reach around.
Right. Maybe he didn't have enough reach to get that ball on the other arm.
Meanwhile, Chung Zifueng on the up fake. Brings it back out for free, rims out that time. But again, you like to credit Kuala Lumpur again for sticking to their guns.
Yeah.
If we're gonna shoot the free, if we're gonna miss it, so be it. This is our style of basketball. This is what we're sticking to.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna lose fighting. At least, ooh, almost a jam there from Wong Ye Wong.
The scrappy little guy showing us his hops. Oiluan this time from distance, no good. But Michael Wico is there for the cleanup job. And that will end our third quarter of action. Michael Wico's layup puts Nueva Ecija up 77-48 to wrap up our third quarter. Take a look again on your screen, folks. Byron Villarias off the curl, the catch and shoot free. Padding that lead for Nueva Ecija. Meanwhile, Temjenje to Wei Yong inside for Kuala Lumpur, still needing a lot of support from their mates. As Michael Wico with an acrobatic finish and the deuce gets that one to roll in. We'll be back this time for more fourth quarter action coming up right here. fourth quarter action here at the Muntinlupa Sports Center. This is game 2 of our triple header here at the FILBASKET Summer Championships. Nueva Ecija Capitals up 77-48 against the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Anthony Perez here, still being joined by Coach Mike Perez as we take a look at the scoring breakdown per quarter. It was a pretty close third quarter though, Coach Mike, no? Kuala Lumpur ASEEL still keeping it close that time, 18-21, but again, in totality, they're still down 77-48.
That's right. And like what you mentioned earlier, there really was some improvements on the way that they defended the paint, speaking of Kuala Lumpur. But it's just that they couldn't make baskets on the other end as well. As you see a 3 by Loan.
Still making baskets, still connecting from deep, even if they're up 80-48. Jonathan Oiloan with that triple.
Right now we're seeing new faces on the Kuala Lumpur side. Maymay goes down on the floor.
Nowhere to go with that defense from Oiloan. Biton telling them to slow it down. Shadowed here by Temjenje. Biton, the drive, middle. He is fouled on the way up by Wei Song.
Lim Wan Song, I think seeing first.
Manufactured by Leone Agri Corporation. Wingjet, no? Tan Wingjet, also a new addition here to the side of the Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. He has only played 1 game so far in the FILBASKET tournament.
But this guy can definitely leap. From what I heard, he's the slam dunk guy of Kuala Lumpur, as we see that.
Oh. I mean, Coach Mike, he can jump, he can leap, but when you're going up against Jesse Collado, you cannot even get off the ground.
You gotta have enough space to take off.
So Tan Wingjet, in his 1 game though, he had 6 points earlier in this tournament. So looking to reintroduce himself to the FILBASKET crowd. Again, we are live via Facebook, YouTube, Kumu, and TikTok. So sa mga nanonood po sa atin ngayon, please remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe to our social media pages at FILBASKET.
Kuala Lumpur still defending despite this huge deficit. 30 points, so to speak.
Oiloan now, looking for Collado down low. He finds the big man for the deuce.
Medyo mahirap yung tira na yun para kay JJ. Pero naibasket pa rin niya.
Bending over backwards for that shot. A Tan Wingjet. There he is. We told you, Coach Mike, earlier, he wanted to reintroduce himself. So there he goes with a free-pointer.
Nueva Ecija cannot afford to relax.
Mabulak now. Oh, foul off the ball. Tan Wingjet with an arm against Chris Piton.
Nueva Ecija just playing very smoothly tonight. When on that elbow entry pass, once they didn't see that cut by Biton, immediately they turned to the corner for a possible backdoor, but a foul was called on top.
Again, Coach Gerson Cabiltes, he has to love what he's seeing right now from his club. Up 82-53. Clean execution. All cylinders clicking for his club. Oiloan with only 3 seconds to work with. Oh, Wan Song and Michael Mabulak this time getting on the action. As we take a look at this on our replay screens, Wan Song and Michael Mabulak trying to wrestle down low for position. Earlier we had an altercation featuring Wei Young and Will McAloney, so we don't want to see another one happening on the floor, but again, good job by our officials for separating the two.
Quickly, Coach Gerson recognizing that, wants to give Mabulak the early rest for tonight. And
earlier in their first half, Coach Mike, he did have a good outing, no? Michael Mabulak, especially in our first quarter. As Tan Wingjet misses that one, Oiloan tracks it down. 82-53, just under 8 minutes to go in our fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Wilson is the official game ball of the 2022 FILBASKET tournament. Wan Song now slows it down, puts the runner up. Wild shot that time by Wan Song. Meanwhile, Biton over to Bringas. looking for Taganas, but that is poked away. But it will stay with the Capitals.
But you love, again, that Kuala Lumpur continues to battle. And I guess it's really just experience that they want to gain here and take that back home and make that learnings for them.
Meanwhile, Pamboy Raimundo scoring again from in close. And as you mentioned, Coach Mike, the boys of Coach Guga Batumalay, again, they are looking to develop this squad in time for the Southeast Asian Games, where the Malaysian national team will compete once again.
Right.
Meanwhile, Chan Zifueng, right wing free, does not fall. And that has been the story of the night, Coach Mike.
Right.
Kuala Lumpur, weapon of choice, the three-point shot. Unfortunately, it did not fall tonight for them.
Yeah, three-point shots just not there for Kuala Lumpur. And they are shooting what? Just 16% from 18% from three.
Right.
It's pretty low considering their normal average of about 30 and 40%. And the key guy there would be May, who hasn't gotten anything from beyond the arc tonight.
Or even their high point man in the last game, Kwek Tien Yen.
Right.
Fouling out in only just the third quarter.
Correct.
Stephen Seruma lines it up. That is all air. But again, going back to the side now of Kuala Lumpur, Coach Mike, you mentioned about Korea and how they play. I think that's what Malaysia is trying to build. No? They want to build an outside sniping type of team, a team that wants to move it around the perimeter and find those open pockets for shooters.
Yeah, but I guess the key difference there would be the quality of the big men of Korea. And, you know, these guys are young and they're on a development stage. And I guess they really need to see more of games like this to be able to build their character and to be able to build their resolve that, you know, all these learnings that we get to pick up, we need to be able to apply on the next tournament that we play in.
Coach Guga Batumalay bringing a lot of experience, even if he's young, Coach Mike. So Coach Guga was actually a player for the Malaysian national squad back in the 2011 FIBA Asia Cup. He led that team to an 11th place finish. That's Malaysia's best finish ever in 20 years.
And if I'm not mistaken, one of the coaches who coached Coach Guga at that time is Coach Bujing Akot, who used to coach for UST as well, and who now leads the PYD group. That's a basketball program here in the country. And one of the really good coaches that we have. And it's just good to know that we have coaches that help develop coaches as well in the future.
Speaking of development, again, Malaysia, meanwhile, our prize money sponsors brought us by eMedisure Pharmacy. But going back to my point, Coach Mike, Malaysia also getting an assist from assistant coach Jeff Viernes, a former PBA D-League MVP who has been helping the Malaysian national team as a skills coach.
Correct. And knowing Coach Jeff Viernes, you see how he plays, no? He's able to introduce new skills, I guess, and new training programs para dito sa team ng Kuala Lumpur. And it's, again, it's always good to see that our country contributes to basketball programs outside of the Philippines.
That only brings up the level of Southeast Asian basketball.
Right.
As Tim Genje steps out of bounds that time. But again, you like to see how, diba, Filipinos helping Malaysians, Malaysians also helping Filipinos in basketball. I mean, it's only great for the game in our region. As we take a look at that Smart Instant Replay brought to us by Smart Simple, Smart Ako. Manalang now finds Raimundo off the curl. Siruma, the drive, looking for Bringas. He finds him in close.
I just love that set of Nueva Ecija. Coming off staggers, if that first stagger is not there, it's going to be a second guy that comes off the wing. And if the lane's free, he's going to take it. Just basic basketball for you. Look at Siruma on that pass.
Going to bring us for the easy deuce off the glass. So Jajun now with the inbound for Kuala Lumpur. One song back to Jajun, left wing free. Still short, but Tan Wing Jet gets it. Jajun back to one song, contested free. Able to rattle it home.
I like that release. I like that release from Lim Wan Cheong. And wow, this guy's pretty young, pero tingnan natin, no? Mukhang there's something with this kid.
Putting in that shooting touch for Kuala Lumpur as Bringas again. Same spot, the jump hook works for Bringas. Oi Shenfu. Kick out. Going to Jajun. 13 seconds in the Kuala Lumpur shot clock. One
Like
song
that
again.
form. I love that
for
form.
free. He has it now, Coach Mike. The
Yeah.
shooting touch.
Right.
I mean, the form is solid. Just
Right.
didn't fall that time.
I feel that they developed this guy, partner him with May. Wow, that's gonna be something else.
Right.
Every Steph Curry needs a Klay Thompson.
He does. He does. Or even Coach Mike in the likes of Kwek Tianyan and
Right.
Nemanja Bjelica.
Yeah.
So Oh Shenfu nails that free throw. So again, Kuala Lumpur ASEEL, the number 6 team in our standings, have been playing every game day since we moved here to the Muntinlupa Sports Center. Of course, had a 91-84 win against the Atami Sardines as we greet our sponsor, Manila Kingpin, who will open their first branch in Cebu, Manila Kingpin, Cebu. Raimundo now. Along the baseline, back out to Siruma, corner free. Stephen delivers the triple.
I love that look on the bench after that made 3 by Siruma.
Showing the confidence is Stephen Siruma. Of course, veteran of many mid-pro leagues, Coach Mike.
Right. And at the rate this game is going, as we see again, player down on the floor. At the rate this game is going, it looks like Coach Jerson will go on his 4th win streak in 5 games. Let's see that drive right there. And bring us just getting in the lane of that drive.
But I like, Coach Mike, these Malaysian players. No, they fall down, they get back up.
Right.
They dive on the floor, they get back up. So
Right.
the scrappiness is there, the hustle is there. Unfortunately, you know, the free-point shot just didn't fall for them in this ball game.
And that to me is very symbolic of how the team really is.
Right.
They go down, they get up and try and compete again. It's not like, you know, I'm going to stay here and just wait for me to get beaten up.
Right.
And they keep on battling and going back. Again, going back to let's just execute whatever it is that we have in our system. As you see, May May and the rest of the guys from Kuala Lumpur, not really a good night for May May. Going what? 1 out of 6 from the field, 0 out of 5 from 3. Just not May May numbers at all. We used to see him launch about 16 to 20 attempts in a game,
Right.
and make about 40% of that. And just a huge off night. And again, you got to give credit to the defense of Nueva Ecija.
Meanwhile, we would like to greet Cantigo Scoreboard, our multi-sport scoring solutions. Going now into the last 2 minutes of our 4th and final quarter. Nueva Ecija comfortably up ahead 93-63 against Kuala Lumpur. Oh, there's a technical off the ball. And it appears, Coach Mike, it's going against Stephen Siruma.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's Stephen Siruma who was whistled for that technical, and they're trying to contest that as well. Let's see that on the slow-mo.
So it's Manalang on the drive, and Siruma, he extended that elbow, I think, against Jajun. And that's what our
Right.
referee called.
Right. That's right.
So Siruma still trying to plead his case here with our officials.
But I guess the referees just want to stay in control
Right.
of this match. They don't want any other second motion or what have you, especially with what happened to Macaloni earlier.
Yes, and Wei Young.
And Wei Young. We don't want to see that again. So, you know, we're towards the latter part of the game.
Right.
We're going to finish this right. So might as well control it even at this point.
But again, no, credit to our officials. We had another altercation a while ago with Mabulak and Wan Song, but they're able to separate the two immediately and efficiently. So again, great job by our officials in this ball game,
Yeah.
maintaining control.
Should be the best player of our game, the referee who dove on Macaloni to prevent any other second motion on that action. But again, I think the good news for Kuala Lumpur is that could be a long game tonight. But hopefully they'll, from what I heard, they're going to have some leisure time later, have a little bit of fun. After all, they've been playing for straight days already.
Right.
So these guys need a break before they come back and play again on Sunday.
Of course, you work, but you play just as hard,
Right.
just the same.
Right.
So a look at Stephen Siruma, still explaining and pleading his case with our official. But I think we have to remind him, Stephen, it's too late for that already.
Right.
As we take a look.
Coach, Commissioner Jai Reyes just
Yes.
laughing things off and having fun on the side there. A little bit animated discussion between Seruma and Commissioner Jai Reyes.
So it is Jun now going to shoot the technical for Kuala Lumpur ASEEL. Of course, Lee Jun, combo guard for Coach Guga, averaging 3 points per game.
And how things can swing here in FILBASKET. A couple of nights ago, it was Kuala Lumpur beating a huge lead with Atami Sardines, but now they're on the shorter end of that stick. As we see, wow, that's gonna be a beautiful game right there. San Juan Knights versus the Tanduay Ram Masters. If you are in Muntinlupa, get out of your home, go here in Muntinlupa Sports Complex because this is gonna be a dandy. And I envy you, Anthony. You're covering it.
I am still going to be here right in the same seat, calling our third game of our triple header. Of course, that's number 1 and number 2, Coach Mike. San Juan and Tanduay respectively. Or rather, no, Tanduay and San Juan, because Tanduay is undefeated still in our FILBASKET Summer Championships.
And of course, that game with Bacolod All-Stars could have been also a won game for them, but you know, Marquee happened and changed the complexion of the game.
Meanwhile, our last 2 minutes is brought to us by Smart. Smart Simple, Smart ako. Pamboy Raimundo over to Bringas. Cross-court pass to Manalang. Stop and pop, 15 feet, air ball. Shot clock will expire against the Capitals. That, throughout the whole night, Coach Mike, I think that was their only poorly run offensive set.
Right. Sabi siguro nila, lahat ng numbers meron na tayo, yung 24-second violation na lang wala. Pwedeng kuhanan natin para kompleto yung stats.
Jajun now, over to Chang Zifueng. Ocean Fu, right wing free. Still offline. Manalang in no need to hurry whatsoever. Bringas, over to Raimundo. Siruma, top of the key. The drive by Stephen does not fall in Taganas. Oh, look at JR almost get that second chance opportunity to go, but one song gets it.
Right, and Taganas just ending off with a smile after that possession.
Chang Zifueng, left wing triple, that's good. Chang Zifueng able to nail it from downtown, but too little, too late for the side of Kuala Lumpur, as this is a 95-69 lead with just 52 seconds remaining in our ball game. Manalang against Jajun puts the runner up. Manalang off rim. Chang Zifueng gets it. Over now to Jajun. Last 40 seconds of our ball game. Jajun, Ocean Fu, one song. Here's the stroke. Free does not fall though.
Best player.
As Nueva Ecija just looking to dribble out the time with the lead and the win firmly in their hands.
Well, Coach Jerson and Team Nueva Ecija just imposing from the get-go, imposing their will in the paint, showing that they are sharing that leather and making it very difficult for the big guys of Kuala Lumpur to be able to cover that that shaded area. And you know, the transition play, every live turnovers that they keep trying to convert into transition, really just made everything fall in the right places para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
Meanwhile, our players already shaking hands, both benches already greeting each other, as our game will end on that buzzer, as 95-69 is our final score. Nueva Ecija Capitals had control of this ball game, Coach Mike, the entire way whatsoever.
That's right, and no way that Kuala Lumpur was, or Nueva Ecija was even threatened. What with the controls that they put on Maymay, and Quick having a difficult time as well. The guards could not execute anything. And then just the unselfishness of the entire Nueva Ecija team just in full display in today's win over Kuala Lumpur.
Meanwhile, of course, Kuala Lumpur had a tough outing, but nevertheless, you know, still some points to take away from Coach Guga. You have to admire the hustle. You have to admire the energy and the heart that his squad showed. Even if they're down by most of the ball game, they were still the scrappy team. They were still fighting. They were still diving on the floor for loose balls. And that's what you want to see from Coach Guga and his boys.
Well, one player surely shot well from the field. And Anthony, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, and we'll swing it over now to Sam Coloso, who has our best player of the ball game right beside her. Sam, go ahead.
Thank you, Anthony and Coach Mike. I'm here with our Pure Gold best player of the game, Michael Mabulak. Michael, obviously inspired ka dahil nandito ang pamilya mo ngayon. Kamusta yung laro mo?
Yung usual naman, every game talagang binibigay ko yung best ko. Kasi ayoko napapaya sa mga boss, so sa mga, siyempre sa pamilya ko na ginigising ko ng maaga para sumama sa akin sa call time. So ayoko masayang din yung effort nila.
Anong message mo sa mga fans mo at sa pamilya mong nandito ngayon?
Siyempre, unang-una gusto ko magpasalamat kila Boss Gob, Ryan Cuevas, Boss Bong Cuevas, Boss Ivan, sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa Team Nueva Ecija, mga taga Nueva Ecija, salamat sa pagsuporta niyo sa amin. Kita-kits tayo dyan. Titos Crispy, sa pamilya ko sa Bulacan, at binabati ko nga pala si Vice Mayor Jan Leonte, Kong Strike Revilla, Mayor Berhel Meneses. Titos Crispy.
Congratulations, Michael! Back to you, Anthony and Coach Mike.
And that was Sam Coloso with our Pure Gold best player of the ball game, Michael Mabulak. Second straight win and fourth straight win and second straight time that Michael Mabulak was named our Pure Gold best player of the ball game. Great outing for him, but meanwhile, we have better things in store for you, FILBASKET fans. It's the San Juan Knights against the #1 and undefeated Tanduay Rum Masters. Up next, here at the FILBASKET Summer Championships presented by Pure Gold.